Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again. Take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Grand Rising. Today is a new day to start again. It is 4/17/2025. I had kind of a bummer day yesterday, but I started this video. I really didn't want to do it. But then I started going with it, and I tell you what, I like doing this. This is one of my favorite things to do. And by the time I ended it, I was like, that's really good. So I think it's really good. We'll see how it turns out. I don't even remember what I wrote in the beginning. What I do is every morning I get up in the mornings and I basically scribe. I write down the things that I'm thinking about. And I've been doing that for a pretty long time now. I tried to do a thing where I was saying in the beginning what I was looking forward to tomorrow I thought was important. And I also thought it was really important to give gratitude to the day, to say thank you for having the opportunity. Because at the darkest point of my life, someone reached out to me and basically landed on gratitude, that the best thing you can do in the most difficult times is to actually be grateful for what you have. Build on the positive. That's the best thing you can do in pretty much every scenario. And even when you get into the greatness, if you can stay centered on that. But anyways, so let me just move into my writings. What I try to do now is write this stuff down. And for a long time, I didn't know what to do with it. And I know I want to write and put it in. I've just not been very good at putting things into a format, which is kind of my thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it out here. And it really kind of hurt my life, honestly, because I was way too personal. And it's probably not the best, but I'm the only one doing this. And I've gotten a lot better at not being too personal. It's just kind of a work in progress. And I think that some people enjoy it. But my main gain from this is I get to leave it all on the table after I'm done and say, well, here, you guys do something with it. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But I think some people get something out of it. And it's something that I've really grown into enjoying doing. So I'm going to keep doing it until people shut it off. So I'm going to read my stuff. Life has a way of really testing you and pushing you. Yesterday I was feeling pretty good. I did something I needed to do the day before. So everything seemed possible moving forward. I had a lot of expectations for my new day. In golf, I draw a lot of analogies to golf. One of the hardest things to do is have your career day, play your best round of golf you've ever played, and then have to try to play golf the next day. Especially if you put a lot of effort to get where you're at. But that's just one of the things that you have to do. It's like what I was saying earlier. Sometimes when you do little things, it leads to greatness. And then when you get there, you're like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. Anyways, yesterday I went 0 for 3. And I felt like I lost a sale being too quiet and genuine. I could have probably influenced things a little bit more. There was a little play at the end of it where I just don't feel like I have the authority. So I should have probably closed the sale, but I didn't really feel like I could. So I could have. I'm very uncomfortable when I'm confident. Anyways, it may still play out. The customer still may purchase, but they were asking for a better deal. And I'm basically I had 2 different customers that asked me for a better deal. And I'm just like, I got nothing. And they didn't really like that. And I really could have probably quietly gave them. Usually what people want is just a win. That's what a customer wants. They want to feel like they won in the transaction. So if you can figure out a way to do that, and I was usually very good at that, but if you don't have the ability to do that, then that's where I was at with it. So anyways, I finished the day off just kind of unfulfilled, but I did my job to my code and moved forward. And then I went to play pool. I haven't played pool much. I bought a pool cue. I used to be a pretty good pool player. It is actually hard to get my neck down like that. And I've been working a lot on it. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it will help me to play a little pool. So I went and played pool. I could already tell I wasn't hitting the ball very good. And then I played a really good game. A guy that I don't even like very much, and I don't want to get into why, because I'm talking about not why and why I don't want to be personal. But there's just something about the guy that rubs me the wrong way. But he wanted to play pool, and it was a weird. I don't want to get into it. It's a personal story that kind of pissed me off. But in the end of it, we ended up playing pool together. In the first game, I owned it, and I was down to an 8-ball shot that was really easy. It had a little cut to it, but it was pretty much a chip shot. And I, in my head, started thinking about how much I've been missing for really the last 4 or 5, 6, 7 years. I used to be so clutch, and then something happened somewhere along the lines where I just lost it. It had to do with the Dao De Ching, honestly. When I got into the Dao De Ching, I no longer was clutch anymore because I didn't care whether it's more important for me to show people that I can handle how bad I get my nose pushed into the dirt and still get up and be like, all right, I'm fine. I'm not going to throw a temper tantrum. I think that is more important to me than actually making the putt or making the 8-ball shot. So I missed it. And then I scratched on the 8-ball with the straight in shot. It was kind of a tricky shot, and I don't want to kill myself over it, but there's no reason why I should have done it. And I made a speech right before it that I actually had not lost in that bar yet. I'd won like 6 games in a row. I hadn't played very much, and then I scratched into it's like the worst thing you can do in pool because you feel like such a noob. You're like, nice shot. You just followed it right in. Good job. Oh, so I had egg all over my face. Somehow I ended up having to buy the guy a beer, which I didn't ever really agree to. And then I play another game, and it was a weird game where he broke, and I never really got a shot. And somehow at the end, I had 7 balls or 6 balls left on the table. And I was just, so then I'm like, oh, I want to fucking clean it off at least. And I missed my first shot, and I just was like, you know what, I'm done. And so at first he was like trying to be like showing me up, like, you know, don't be like a baby about it. And I'm like, I'm not. I just, you know what? I got egg on my face. And then I was just like, you know, dude, if you think this is embarrassing to me, you have not watched my life. And that's basically how I left it. And then I came home and feeling the whole way home, the little Davey in me wanted to go back and fight for my honor. And I wanted to throw that pool fucking cue like 7 times. See, even F-bombed. I've been really good about not saying it, but that's how mad I was walking out of there. Because I don't really like the guy. And I wanted to go back in there and just be the hero moment. Just run the table about 4 or 5 times. Or at least go in there and show that I got to fight until I can't fight no more. But I'm over that. There's no reason for me to do that. Which is probably why I missed the 8-ball shot. Anyways. What else do I got to say? This is the first page. You should see how much I've got written here. We're going to keep going. I don't care. So, I don't need to be who I was anymore. I don't even like him. I don't even like the old David. A lot of people did. In fact, I think more people like the old David way better than they like this David. This David, people don't really love to be around sometimes because I call spade spade. And I think that that's a problem sometimes. I'm just to the point in my life where I have gotten much better at just not saying nothing. But sometimes my silence is what really pisses people off. Because I was so talkative. I know I can overcome this, but it is very concerning to me that I'm not able to make the clutch shots, especially if I want to get into golf. I don't really want to be a competitor, though. I really just want to be a teacher. But you do have to have credibility as a teacher. You can't miss shots in front of your pupils. I definitely don't want to be fighting self-doubt and frustration, for sure. I'm not much on halftime. I'm at 50. It's kind of halftime, isn't it? I just threw that in there. I'm usually ready to get at it. But halftime can really change the game if you do things the right way. You come out and you do things that nobody noticed. You kind of sneak attack. You come in with a whole different angle. And they're just like, whoa, you put on the full court press or you release back or you start, you know, a bunch of different jargon. You know what jargon is? It's the way people make you feel smart or superior because you know a lot about a subject and nobody else does, just because the words are different. After I got beat, I was really ready to go. although I didn't really like the competition or the competitor. So he was very nice, actually, and very cordial in the whole exchange, the guy that I played against. And it was so I think everything ended well. That's one thing I felt like I did. I ended the whole thing with class. I've been trying to really make sure that I do that, like shore it up as I go. You don't want to leave bad grudges behind if you can fix them, or at least make an effort. But, you know, you do your best in life. That's all you can really do. Sometimes leaving with class is just not trying to address anything. I wanted to leave because I felt myself getting mad. I have a temperature gauge. I think it's funny. There's a Bobby Knight video that has him in a sand trap bunker. If you don't know who Bobby Knight is, he was called the General. He was the coach of Indiana University's basketball program. He's kind of a legend. I don't really need to talk him up too much. And he's very divisive because, in fact, at one time I loved Bobby Knight, and I still have an endearment towards Bobby Knight, but there's a lot of things about him that I think is one of the major reasons why we have a lot of problems in our society is because the people that were supposed to be noble were not. So I know that's really mean to say, and I don't want to tarnish a man because he did a lot of great, and he did way more great than I'll ever do. So I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to draw narratives in the way that we have things designed in our society, and he's red. Bobby Knight is red. Anyways, he's in a sand trap. And it's showing, he had a video where he would try to show himself on the golf course to try to be endearing to other people. And this just shows you, none of this is shown in real life or on video, but it is in real life. What they do is they clip away from it and show his good moments. But this is not a good moment for Bobby. He's in the bunker and he's having a hard time hitting this shot out of there. And he's trying to be like cool, and he can't be cool because he sucks at golf. Because he's got some problems that he probably could work on, most of which is his temper. He's in the bunker, and he has this big old huge moment, but they have a thermometer put on the screen. This is what I should do. Video was done way back a long time ago. This is how out of date and out of time I am. And they had a little gauge on there that was a temperature gauge. I've been talking a lot about mercury lately. Mercury's in the barometric pressure. There's a lot to that stuff, but... Anyways, it's rising up and showing how hot he gets. What you need to learn is you don't even get the thermometer started when you have a temper like that. You understand that once that thermometer gets started, you're really not in control anymore. You need to be in control of, you need to hold on to the thermometer, the mercury. That's yours. Whenever you have a temper and you store that shit forever, and it stores up and stores up. And if people, I look like a goofball. If people get knowledge that you're storing up all this mercury, they know that whenever you do decide, it's very powerful. So I think what happens is, this is me really thinking through this, they monitor and they know what's stored. And they once it gets to a certain level, it's trouble. After I got beat, I was ready to go, although we're done with all that. Like, I'm real enlightened here. So anyways, that's the most important thing if you have great passion, the best thing you can do is get control of it yourself, like internally. And if you can do that, if yourself gets aligned with a good purpose, you are one of the most powerful beings on this earth, regardless of class, regardless of where you're at. I didn't enjoy, so part of what I didn't like is you do have you have an ability to be able to go where you want to go in this realm. I chose to go to that place and to put myself in. I think you should do that. I think you should be willing to go anywhere, but I'm in a stage right now in my life where I really don't want to fight with the devil. It's not my job. That's not what I need to be engaged. There's plenty of people fighting the devil right now. I don't need to be one of them. Everybody keeps talking about you should pay attention. I saw that with somebody that I align with, and they were talking about everybody should pay attention at least. Nuh-uh. You guys do it. That's not my game. I have no idea or interest in it. I mean, I'm pretty well read, and I don't have any interest in it. I have an interest in trying to promote following the way. That's all I have right now. And that's, for a little guy like me, that's just doing what I got in front of me and doing it as best that I can. And that's inspirational to people that are bigger than me that'll say, whoa, I can take that. And that's the way I can help. So anyways, I don't have to go over there. I shouldn't have, and I'm not going to, I think, moving forward. There's no reason for me to go in there. So why do I keep going in there? I've already gotten what I needed out of there. I think what's really important is, once you become enlightened, is to use your discernment. There are signs when I know I'm about to erupt. I know when and that was a place where I'd seen that play out before. There's no reason for me to stay in there. And if alcohol would have been involved in that, woo! I wanted to break my pool cue just several times. I really don't like my pool cue now. That's like spoiled. I don't know that I even want to play with it again. You're not coming with me again. It really wasn't a very expensive pool cue. And I don't know, there's something about when you open a pool cue up, I got my hat on, you got some expectations. You're setting yourself up if you're not well practiced. And I haven't even played pool. I used to be good, but that doesn't mean I'm good now, and I haven't played for years. So first of all, I wasn't feeling it, so I needed to get out of there. Second, it wasn't important to me. I've already faced these kind of demons in battles. There's no reason to keep fighting. It's like going back in a video game and fighting things you've already fought, and it's easy to do. You can build your confidence doing it again, but you don't have to. It's kind of a waste of time, unless there's something in there that you want to get. Sometimes there's a really cool thing that you can get from killing the boss. That's funny. Third is, I know thyself. I know what could happen in there. And there's no real gain for me to become the glorious pool player. What's that going to do? I went home, went to bed. I kind of lost my day, really. And I was a little bummed, but not really. You testing and you're learning your limits, really, is what you're doing. I learned that I really don't need to be going over there anymore. And I think I need to make that as a decision. Not out of spite, out of like a really full in-depth, like, why am I coming over here? I want to watch the Pacers, but I can do that here. I need to be more homebound, I think. Because I felt like I was trying to be out in public. But if I'm going to go out in public, I should go in places where I'm going to have a good experience. Why am I going to places where just out of loneliness and the routine is kind of silly? I'm not growing. I need to grow, David. So, and I really don't need to be playing pool. Where am I at? I don't really, oh, there we go. I don't really want to play pool at a bar. I don't really want to go to the bar at all. I'd rather hurry home to my garden and tend to my garden if I know that I have a garden to tend to, and have a nice dinner and have fellowship. I would like to have some more fellowship. I would enjoy fellowship with like-minded people, or a person, or I got a cat. Bodhi's all right. Bodhi does talk to me, and she's a lot more talkative. I don't know what she's saying, but it's helping me right now for sure. These videos help me look forward. Part of working through your past, climbing the ladder of yesterday, is so you can look forward and look up. If you look up, your neck gets better. My neck is something I wish I would have put a lot more effort into. So your feet, your hands, and your neck are really important just to work on, stretch a little bit. Bodhi's actually taught me that. No, she didn't. I like to give credit where I like to give credit, though. Make them feel good about themselves. Listen to your body. Listen to life. Listen to source. Be aware of mother. Mom's always talking. Source is always there. Energy is never created or destroyed. Mother is always, life is always among us. It's in a cycle. There is no wasted day. Everything, and I mean everything that happens for a reason. Many reasons. Good reasons, bad reasons. Do you know who Ray is, the start of reason? Ray is sun. Do you know who sun is? Sun. Be the sun's son. Reason. Did you get that? That's a good one. As mother, you are part of mother, as a drop of water is to the ocean. You are mother. Even as a dude. Arnold Schwarzenegger, your mom. Yeah, I think he's played a woman before. There is nothing new under the sun. And there is nothing under the sun that will not be revealed. You can't bury anything that can't be found. There is nowhere to hide it. We live in a realm. There's nowhere you can hide something that can't be found. And everything is seen if it's revealed. You can bury it, I guess, and it's probably this stuff that's been buried a long time. If the search includes the realm, like if we were treating this as a realm, we would be digging. I had a guy yesterday had Digger as his handle, and I just kept thinking about it. And then I thought about Minecraft a lot. I really enjoyed digging around. We should be digging, is what we should be doing. You dig it? But we're not going to, because can I talk to Trump? Can I get like a one-on-one with Trump? That would be really cool. Let's do it televised. You want to do it, Trump? Let's go, baby. I'm calling you out. He watches, you know this. He does. Delusions of grandeur. All right, what am I doing here? I had some really deep stuff going. I can't teach it. I can't preach it. What I've found is my purpose is to live the way. That's what I've been drawn to do. I'm not a worthy vessel, but my Maker made me. My Maker made me. Why was I made? Random. You are a silly goose. What is the best version of myself? The one that follows the way with contentment. No matter how bad the way gets, this one here just keeps beating that drum. Boom, 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 boom. Like in the commercial, when the Energizer Bunny rolls across the screen, comes across, still going. That might be the best advertisement ever. By the way, I'm a bunny. I'm a wood rabbit. I really like the wood rabbit. I like that part right there. I gotta get that neck out. That's the wood rabbit. Okay. Everybody's like, this motherfucker's high. And once I have no point, so if I have a point, that's where I get skewed. This guy's off his rocker. He don't know what he's talking about. So I'm marginalized. Nobody gives a damn about what I have to say. But I do have a point. It's a point of reference. That's very critical in understanding consciousness and in understanding how everything flows. You have to have an understanding of points of reference. When it comes to Judgment Day, and there is a Judgment Day for everyone, whether you're an atheist or whether you are full-blown into Hinduism, into a particular branch. That's probably the most misunderstood religion. There is a day that will no longer be. There is a day I will no longer do. My life will be over on a day and will never do, I will never do or be again. I have a last breath. So does you. So do you, unless you get frozen and some stuff that way. If you try to chase eternity, from what I have found, you will fall on your face. You're still in the way, but you're going to be in the way of the way. That always plays, though, the finite. Your biology strives to survive. Your instincts preserve the young. Mothers protect life. But once you die, really, who cares? It's over, according to, unless you have. There's logic. I think logic would tell you to make your name known forever. Like, I want David Michael Clark to be a stamp on this realm that never leaves. They retire that name. and they identify it with me. So I think that's why statues were made in depictions of these people. They wanted to be like, this is what I became. But is it really, though? Maybe that's just what you alluded to. Maybe it was, though. I think that there was, at one time, people of excellence. But possibly, that's just me. We just have statues, and most of them have their noses cut off. Why were they cut off? That's a really bad one. People will probably lose touch with me there. That's why the buildings were so elaborate. They were like, I did that. But then we lost who did it. What will last till the end of time, I think, is kind of what logic might tell you to do. You want to build something that lasts forever, and you want to build it as good as you can build it because you are God's chosen, or whatever you want to call it. Here's where my point of reference alters. We ain't going nowhere. We all are here forever. If there is an ever, there is certainly a cycle. In my spirit, your spirit, all spirits flow with light and sound and the frequencies. But it stays here, in this system. What is outside this system, I think fuels us. And I think we fuel it. I think that's all part of the cycle as well. There's things outside of our system that cause the rain. Well, heat, and moisture. But moisture was put here. And we fuel what is outside this system, is what I think. But I don't know that for sure. What I think our bodies are and our collectiveness is, we are transmuters of energy. We are the most aware in this realm. So we are the caretakers. It's our responsibility due to our awareness, depending on how aware each individual is. But collectively, our awareness is what controls this realm. And we are connected collectively, even with the animals, really, but we don't know how to speak that. What we need to learn how to do is the way. Animals respond to our behavior and sometimes sound, and you can do stuff with your voice. My voice doesn't mean much. It's just me singing. But if everybody sang, today is a new day to start again, take each moment one by one and do the best you can. Yesterday doesn't matter, it only serves as a ladder. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, so make your plans accordingly. Today is a new day to start again, take each moment one by one and do the best you can. And if they put that into their life every day, well, that might really change things. Can you imagine that? It's a cheesy song, don't get me wrong. I did it that way on purpose because I want it to be something that's a little bit painful for you to sing. But after you sing it, you're like, you know what? That did help. I'm going to move on with that. It's a good song. That's why I keep singing it. Everything else I'm saying might be gibberish, but hold on to the song. You can change the music, and you can change how people live. And that's truth. That's pretty good. I'm going to end with that. See, this is why I get excited. Is that it? Yeah. That's a lot of writing. I did that all on the fly. This is all like pure, just me doing what I like to do, which is talking a bunch of gibberish. But some people, I think, hear it. I hear it. I don't actually watch these videos. I used to watch them like over and over again. I don't do that anymore. I just do the one. I usually watch it a couple times, and then I have some other things that I'm doing with my life. But this has really been helping me. So I appreciate anybody that's followed. And I'm going to keep going with it. I'll try to keep them shorter, but look at this, 30 minutes. I hope everybody has a great day out there. Do great, be grateful. Give the world your gratefulness.